We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the ones going to the promised land. We don't think Jews are a part of God. No, Jews are nothing but another part of that same race of devils that come out of Europe. Black people are standing up. Black people are rising up, and they're starting right.
We were slaves in Egypt. We belong to the Father, ain't no pledge of allegiance. We both to celebrate that killing that he didn't need you. We both to keep the holy days, don't be like the heathen. He said that for a reason. We in Babylon, he coming back without a warning like an avalanche. You think you gon' keep burning people, he ain't having nah. All praise to y'all, you amazing y'all. That's why I'm thinking y'all. So y'all. I got this fire in my bones like Jeremiah. Most I keep waking up your people, you the lighter. We keep the laws and the commandments you provide us. Then we gon' rise up. He put curses on the people we ain't know. Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Can't forget your brother, you gon' let it blow. He don't wanna raise a child, you ready to roll. Why you think you in them trench? Why you think you in them buildings? Why you think you seen them dealers? Why you think you seen them killers? Why you trying to stay alive? Why you keep that on the side? Why you think they bout to ride? Why you think he bout to die? Why nobody answer why? We too busy looking fly. Turn that television off, watch what you put in your eye. Let the Bible come alive. Y'all gon' raise your sons and daughters up and they gon' prophesy. Need to let go of them lies, need to let go of your pride.
We shouldn't have any relationship with the law, not even the Ten Commandments.
That's crippled out.
We should not have any relationship with the law, which is over 600 of them.
Over 600. Crippled, so we don't deal with none of that. No law.
Jesus died to free me.
Do what I'm saying though. Get rid of this image. Get rid of it all
They
together.
tell you not to keep them laws, cause they don't want you to be yourself. Man, them laws were given to us, they ain't for nobody else. But on this garment, you a king. Border blue around the ring, put Frenches on everything. You ain't no nigga, you a king. They kept us lost for many years. We don't cry many tears, waking up about it is. And they know about who he is, and they know about what they did. How you say you love the Father when you killing all these kids? Y'all gon' pick out what y'all did. They knew that one day we arrive. Nigga, this ain't no surprise. I'ma see I coming back, cause you gon' live or you gon' die. Repent before he crack the sky. All this pain that we going through, Isaiah 14 and 1 is what he gon' do. He made a promise to our fathers that he going to. We keep the laws and the commandments that we can't lose. We waking up about to sleep, just know we can't snooze. We waking up the lost sheep, this ain't no fake news. Be glad for me, cause I could be the light up in the room. Don't be mad at me, cause I could mix it up and make a boom. Just be glad for me, cause I could be the light up in the room. Don't be mad at me, cause I could mix it up and make a boom. They know America's doomed, man, somebody get the broom. Babylon right in the tomb, we got plenty room for coon. Waking up right out to sleep, nigga, this is prophecy. Coming back to who we are, I don't see how you don't see.
You're Lazarus. You're the dry bones. You're the prodigal son. You're the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last days when the trumpet is sounded.
I shall keep it until the end. Give me understanding and I shall keep your law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah!
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for tonight. I am Kayel in the building. As you can see, I got my brother Chito Pie in the building. Chawa! Yes. Well, for you guys that may not know, and I'm man, they must be playing tonight because usually we got a much larger crowd in here, man. They'll come in a minute, but Facebook like to do things, the algorithms and whatnot. But it's all good. We are introducing my brother Chito Pa, who for many of you that may not know, because that Chito is a dual inyan. Yeah, you want to call that, right? He's a dual inyan, you know what I mean? In this new world of all these titles and whatnot, everybody got a title, right? So my brother is not only indigenous to the Yamasee tribe, the Yamasee, out of Florida, and many other places that he's going to explain. I'm just starting off in Florida because I want you guys to know this spans from Texas to Florida, right? So not only is he indigenous to this southeastern lands as Aborigine to this North America, he's also an Inyan, a black masking Inyans. We like to say, some say Mardi Gras, but we say black masking. Yeah. And he is the wild man. You better know that. Yeah. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? So y'all getting a treat right there. That's signals he's throwing out to his tribes right now. So let me tell y'all. So that's our the treat for our guests. So Chito, say hello to everyone, my brother. Chito.
What's going on with you, baby? It's all well, it been a great year for me, you know. Hold on, let me close this door so I don't want to interrupt my wife while she's watching her program. Hold
Oh,
on.
we don't want to interrupt the wise. We already know we're very thankful for our peace. I see my brother Adon is in the building. Mm. Yeah, I know it's giving problems with everybody. It froze up on me for a second too. They only got four of us in here, and that's me, you, Chito, and you, Aaron. Well, that's three of my old lady, my rib. You know what I'm saying? That's about the only folk that's in here right now, as because it's trying to give us some faulty. But we on YouTube, and we're gonna keep it going because YouTube don't run about these Facebook issues. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm
So,
back. I
but
went
yeah.
down my water.
So, tonight is a special night. Normally, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my particular Facebook channel, we are doing Hebrew State of Being. Chito just goes live all the time. I don't think you got any set time that you go, do you, my brother?
Man, I go live when I feel like it.
No doubt. So my brother goes and has a very large following. Right now, he's using his alternate, and that might be why we're having a hard time getting out, because he's using his alternate Facebook channel because he's in jail on his other channel. You know what I'm talking about? It seems that
Yeah,
Facebook has an issue with truth.
yeah. It's not only Facebook too. It's other people as well.
Yeah. We are finding this contact tracing kind of spills over in a whole bunch of places, huh?
Right, right, right. Well, you said that you had something on your mind. You did have something on your mind, and you said that the Great Spirit had you to come towards me, and you had me in mind for what you want to do. And I was like, 2 years ago, a sister said, "Pop, why you not doing this? You love speaking to people and everything. You know the culture and the history down here in New Orleans and stuff. Why you not doing the tours? You did a tour with us and everything." And she was like, "I see you doing the tour in the future." And I was like, "Well, the people in them need it, but how many gonna do the tour?" She said, "If you do it, it will come." You know what I'm saying? And then it was like 2 years because I was working at the airport at the time. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Well, look, the Great Spirit leading to go that way. Hey, I'll go ahead on and I'll take it. I'll be humbly obliged to go ahead on and do it." You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And when you came to me and said, "Brother Pop, you the first one I had in mind, bro. You had anybody else that you could have talked to, but you came to me." You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know,
Well, let me tell you what he's talking about. 'Cause my sound went out. I don't know if you stopped talking, but my sound
no,
went out.
I can hear you.
All right. So, as you see on the title of the show tonight, it is Introduction to Aboriginal Tours of Louisiana. So, in my journeys of this Hebrew and journeys of black masking, it was really two different things. Black masking in the Inyan community was business, and my walk was my spiritual walk. But I found that they intertwined more times than I thought. You know what I'm saying? I found that they crossed roads more often than they didn't. And most people try to separate them and keep them, separated. I just flow with what the Great Spirit told me to do. And in that, I found that he told me to go to Poverty Point, do the research, right? And this is before I knew Chito was actually Yamasi, right? I really thought that Pa was just, a wild man for monogram hunters, right? So I didn't know, right? And then look, every once in a while I would see him at different Super Sundays or whatever. He say, "Hey, I got that info for you when you're ready. And I was always look at him like, man, who is this? You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And so every once in a while, everybody didn't you hear his name pop up, but his name would pop up in serious conversations. Like his name didn't pop up in just normal conversations with different Inyans and what people doing. When people were having serious conversations about history, his name would pop up. So I'm sitting there like, okay, that's the same brother. So I'm making the connection now. Okay, it's not he's not just a wild man. He got something else going on. All right. So
And then also, my cousin Danielle Neville, you know, in the election, I
mhm.
was guest speaker, you know, and met me there.
Yes, yes. And everybody was looking up to him. And then as he's talking about Gaynell and Cyril Neville, what I'm gonna do this quick story. So everybody knows who Aaron Neville is, right? We all know who the Neville brothers are here. But they had other people that loved Aaron Neville for his music, and they were really interested in who he was. So they went and did a whole DNA thing on him and found that he was related to the Chopper of Louisiana. He was authentic Aboriginal of New Orleans. With that, the Gaynell and Cyril have been able to tell me if where I go wrong. They have been able to now orchestrate and organize that tribe to live again. And the city council and the mayor of New Orleans, they all came together and did a proclamation. Yeah, did a proclamation recognizing Tachampa Chapatulas as the original tribe here. And as we know, Chapatulas means the people by the river. So Chapatulas,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah. And
so
and also we just not too long met on August the 18th, right before Hurricane Ida, we met with Councilman Troy Carter.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And so just to back up when we get to the Troy, but so with them recognizing that tribe, they made Chito the chief. Right? I want to make sure they understand that you the chief of
Well,
that tribe.
well, well, no, well, chief of information.
Yes, chief for information. So he was the one that spoke. Right. So he's
Yeah,
the one that spoke at the council and the full nine. So that's perfect because that's exactly what this is about. He is the person with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He's the chief of information. You know what I'm saying? Because not only does he have the Aboriginal, but he also has the Inyan community of New Orleans information as well. So as I was going through doing documentaries for Black Masking and going through the big chiefs and we did festivals in between that time. We've done 3 so far. So the Most High, in looking at the festivals and going to Poverty Point, doing the research on who we were and the connection to Washita, Oshita, or pronounced Oshita, but most say Washita, but finding, yeah, and then connecting that Oshita and finding out that that wasn't the tribes that was actually in Poverty Point, and then Chito being able to bring that information all together. So Most High say, well, you know what? I want you to do a tour. And how he told me to do a tour is, well, I had a brother that comes on to our Hebrew State of Being show, and he's like, I'm coming down to New Orleans. And he's like, look, I want you to do a tour for me. You know, you talk about the Aboriginal, you know the information. And I'm like, yeah, brother, you know, we've been talking for a year. And he's like, yo, I'm coming down. So he's like, and then he said, brother, I'm gonna speak this into your life that you're gonna have a tour company. I'm like, man, I ain't never thought about having a tour company before, man. He's like, nah, I'm telling you, this is what I'm seeing for you, that this is gonna be, I'm like, I just, kind of like your people when they told you, you knew you need to have a tour company, Chito. You need to be doing tours. You're like, yeah, I feel it. I want people to have the information, but I don't know how that necessarily works, right? So when he came down and I actually had to put the tour together, if I wouldn't have actually had to put one together and do it, I don't know if we would be where we are. But once I did it, I understood there was also a component that was missing. And I prayed on it. I was like, on my Sabbath, on my Shabbat, I was like, Most High, show me what direction, because I don't feel like it's whole. I don't want to be the one that's out here just speaking. I don't think it's got to be bigger. And your voice, I mean, your picture kept coming to my head. And when I called you, I said, I'm calling my brother because your picture has been coming through my head. your name has been on my mind. Most High told me to give you a call, right? So from there, we decided, I told him that, I wanted to do the tour company. We wanted to go to poverty point with the mounds. He's like, man, we got mounds right here in City Park. And I'm like, I heard about that. He's like, nah, we got the mounds right here. So we can make the whole connection from right here in the hood. We got the mounds in the hood. I'm like, nah, Chito. I'm like, I knew we had the mounds in LSU. I know they built the campus on the mounds. I've been to them. But you telling me I grew up around here and I didn't know there was a mound right here? So, with that understanding, we decided that everybody needs to know this information because we have been fed this out of Africa um, doctrine, right? We have been told that every person of melon had to have come from Africa, and that the ones that were here when the Europeans came looked very much like them and had the DNA of Siberian. That's why they say they came over the Bering Straits because they have Siberian Russian blood, right? So these Russians that they say they found here were the indigenous. They now call native. Am I correct, Chito? So with us understand that that is what they give us as our history, and we know our history to be the opposite of that, that we were actually here prior to, and that this was a all the Indies, which is from South America to the Caribbean, all the way to North America, all the way to Canada, actually, is the Indies, is all the West Indies together. So when Christopher Columbus says he was looking for India, he was looking for the West Indies because India was not called India at the time that Christopher Columbus set sail. It was actually called Hindustan. And it wasn't changed from Hindustan until 1948. So the lies that we have been given from Christopher Columbus to the slave trade to what we come from, all coming from Africa and our own existence on this continent coming from that slave trade, we have decided that it is time for our people to give our history in New Orleans. Go on, my brother. I'll let you take it from there.
Right. And and the thing is that we in our land and we don't need no corporate to tell us, oh well, you have to go through the Louisiana Commissioners of Tours or New Orleans Commission of Tours because um they have this book that was written by a professor that went to UNO, which is the University of New Orleans, and she's supposed to be a history professor. And the name of the book is called My Lovely Crescent, or My Beautiful Crescent, one or the other. Well, anyway, with that, all right, with that,
And here it
we
is.
actually took that, yeah, we actually took that book, we took that book down, and I've been broke that book down and dissected it and dismantled it, and when I
Because it's
went to
lies.
City Hall to trying to get tour license, this was like way back in the days. And so I went to ask the taxi cab people who's over the tour commission in New Orleans some questions about the book. And I said, well, things that y'all have in the book is not right and accurate. It's outdated. And I said, the information been on since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, furthermore, I'm on my land. I don't need y'all to do tours or I need permission. Because if you want to go in the French quarters, they figure that you need a license to go in the French quarters and speak on the history. But our tour gonna be dealing with before
18.
1729 and before 1803. We gonna be pre New Orleans.
That's
What
right.
our tour is gonna be dealing
Many people don't think about a pre-New Orleans though. They don't know. Why don't you break down Chafuncta for them, Chafuncta Nation, pre-New
with.
Orleans.
Actually, dealing with the Shafanta, that was dealing with the Shafanta River that's right there on the North Shore, that's going through Slidell. But on this side, on the South Shore,
Mm-hmm.
was actually Chapatulas.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chapatulas stretch from where New Orleans is all the way to, which is known as Baton Rouge today.
Red stick.
Right, right, right. Well, the word Baton Rouge meaning red baton.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they did when they was right there by Ula, which means the people of the bayou, and then it became known as Chapatulas, meaning people of the river. You see, same family.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So dealing with the South Shore, that was dealing with the Chapatulas, also dealing with the Chickamauga. You know what I'm saying? But the Chickamauga, they're doing some horrible things right now because they actually kicking melanated Indians out of the nation and off the reservation. Yeah, yeah. Because it was also here in New Orleans as well.
So, but these particular ones aren't all melanated.
No, they not. That's was the ones who actually mixed in with the French.
Exactly.
So they're more in touch with their French side than the Aboriginal side of the Chateau and Chickamauga.
You know, that issue is an issue that's in our normal communities from Seventh Ward to Ninth Ward to uptown to downtown. It seems to be an
Right,
unfortunate plague that is deep in our community. And the
right,
reason for doing these tours is to actually try to break that a little bit by understanding that we were all the same, knowing how we got to this point. Instead of thinking we all just hopped off a slave ship and we've been fending for ourselves since then, is a lie that we have no connectivity whatsoever. When you have these tribes that have been infiltrated, and make no bones about it, when the Europeans came here, it was a common practice for them to marry into the tribes. This was
right,
something that they wanted to do. You know, this was an active uh, 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 program. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right,
in doing that, then you now cement yourself with some land. You cement yourself with the people that were here prior to the Europeans, your friends, your cousins that's coming in Shalom. Chanel, I see my brother Anderson is in the building as well. I see my brother Adam is in the building. Cerise is in the building. Um, this was a common
yeah.
practice. Good.
And what happened is when you had the French that did that, right, and they married the Aboriginal women, right, and they had children by them Aboriginal women. The Aboriginal women children became free women of color,
Hmm.
and they started owning slaves.
Yep. And on
They started enslaving Indians,
yeah.
you know, and that was before they even did the Africans,
Do you
you
think
know, and
that
that's, yeah.
do you think our people would have a different look on life if they realized that the reason that we've gotten to captivity was because we fought each other and enslaved ourselves and allowed somebody else to take advantage of a system that we were doing to each other?
Well, the thing is, when we was having scrimmages, I call it that, scrimmages, we didn't abbreviate another tribe. We didn't do that. You know, we would actually take that tribe amongst our family if there wasn't that many. You know what I'm saying? And some nations became conglomerates, you know what I'm saying, of other nations or
Yeah.
other tribes
The
and clans.
Iroquois nation, the give me a couple of the nations that they had at the
Well, the
Powhatan.
Iroquois was a confederation. It was a confederation. That
Hmm.
was further up north, you
Hmm.
know, but down south, you know, you had the Yamasi Federation, then you had the Muskogee Federation, then you had the Pawnee Confederation, you
Hmm.
know, you had many
Yeah.
confederations like that, you know, and then you had the Cherokee Confederation that came later, you know, so that will wind up happening. But where the real issue came about at was dealing with the French and Indian War. That was the war that solidified the divide and conquer.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was the war. Because happened is we didn't know that the British, the Dutch, the French, and the Spanish all was a part of the Holy Roman Empire. We
Yes.
didn't know that.
Right. You didn't know they were
Because
factions of the same beast.
all of them was under the Roman Catholic Church. We didn't know that. Even though the British, was under the Anglican Church still was subservient to the
Vatican.
Catholic,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know that until like when shit started breaking out, like in the 1900s. In the 1800s, we didn't know that they all was a part of that Holy Morisco Roman Catholic Empire. We didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't know
Okay.
that. And so, by certain Indians helping the Spanish, you had the Seminoles and the Yamase helping the Spanish, and then the Spanish turned around and betrayed the Yamase. We wound up whipping their ass. Then the British saw us whipping the Spanish ass, and the British was like, "Oh, this is our opportunity to join the Yamase to whip the Spanish."
Yep.
And because we don't want them to whip our ass, so they became our friends. And then they did the same thing that the Spanish and them did. They were like, "Oh, y'all motherfuckers here, like, nah, man, y'all." So we started whipping the British ass, and so the royals of Spain heard about it. It was like, "Hey, if y'all can get down here to Spanish Florida, we'll give y'all more ammunition. Bring the slaves that y'all raided the plantations with, bring them on down." That was the Africans from West Africa. They said, "Look, we give y'all land, we give y'all cattle." It's like, "Oh no, that's our land in the first place. So how you gonna give us land?" You know what I'm saying? And so there was like, well, and then the kicks thing is the so-called people had to go ahead on and pledge their allegiance to Catholicism, right?
Yeah.
That was a whole other thing too. So that's what wound up happening, and then motherfuckers became friendly Indians and shit, and then you had
And
certain
they started
Indians.
dividing the tribes because each tribe would go with the French or the Canadians, and then the other ones
the
would
French
go
and
with
shit. And the
yeah.
French and it was Catholic, just like the motherfucking Spanish.
Yes.
You know?
And so was the Canadians, because the Canadians was in the war as well. They don't talk about it that much, but the Canadians was in war as well and was part of the Catholic Church, the Roman.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Nova Scotia, Quebec, all of that. Yeah, they all was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But what most people didn't know that you had two brothers on each throne of each kingdom.
Mm.
You had a brother that was sitting on the Spanish throne, and you had a brother sitting on the French throne.
Wow.
And they both was from the House of Orleans and the House of Bourbon. And we have those streets in the French quarters.
Yes, that's exactly why it's named as it is. Yeah.
Right, that's family names in the French quarters.
Right. All of them are family names, exactly.
They're all family names in the French quarter. The House of Bourbon, the House of Orleans, the House of Bourbon, Burgundy, the House of Decatur, the House of Dauphine. Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Whoa. And
Yeah,
that's not it.
Royal bloodline.
So we walk on these streets out there and in the quarters on these oppressors from the jump, the ones that separated us from the get.
Right.
And we get drunk and get rowdy in the streets. Not to mention, I mean, that's part of their thing. I mean, it was only right that the streets that are in the French Quarter is known as where you go to get drunk in a revelry, right? Because what we have on the front of our city hall.
You talking about the mural?
Yeah, I'm talking about the carving. When they handing us alcohol.
Yeah, they had alcohol in the barrel. Yeah, they had alcohol in the barrel, and we was giving them bear skin and shit. But see, what most people don't know is we actually had alcohol, but that was for the medicine people.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't for the whole tribe.
Right.
Unless it was for ceremony. You see?
Like the green corn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the green that's corn the only festival. Time we had, yeah.
Because, everybody can ferment. You know what I'm saying? It's not like alcohol is some, mystery. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
only the European brought. You know what I'm saying?
Look, we wound up fermenting motherfucking corn and wound up getting corn liquor, what became known as moonshine.
Facts. That's why I want you to walk right on into that. Yes.
You know, that was a ceremonial used for medicine, but most people don't know that.
Nah, they don't.
Shit, you get a shot of that moonshine, that knock a coal out your chest.
Yeah, get moonshine corn. Do we what? Say that again. Get a shot of that moonshine and what?
And moonshine to knock the coal out your chest.
Yeah, I was it put hair on your chest. What? It make y'all grown, man. I had
Yup.
moonshine once, man. Whew. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. And one guy said, "Nah, see what you do is you just drop some strawberries in there, or you drop something else, whatever fruit they want to put. And say that change it for you." I'm like, and then cinnamon. That was the one they like to do. Cinnamon. I'm like, cinnamon. You can't even swallow cinnamon already. Now you want me to make something that's already hard to swallow with the alcohol. The moonshine then put cinnamon in it too.
Oh yeah, that opened up your sinuses and yeah, boy, your high blood pressure.
Get your mind right. Huh?
Probably have Bourbon Street and you have a drink called bourbon.
Right. Right. You do bourbon whiskey, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. And bourbon is brown.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It
So
is.
that let you know that hey, bourbon are not so called white people, that was Moriscos.
So let's get into that. So we broke down that the southeastern of North America was all black melanated Indians, right?
Right,
And that there were melanated Indians all across North America, but the ones
right.
that you guys hear about come from the Bering Straits, that their DNA that they all are into. Ancestry.com has shown and revealed that they have Siberian and Mongolian bloodlines, which would make sense because they came from Russia, which is on the other side of the Bering Straits, China and Russia. Mongolian is your China, Russia is right above it. So those people made a migration over here, and now they have been known as the natives, but they were already melanated Aboriginal tribes that were already here. So
Yeah,
much that
we was already stationary. We wasn't nomads. We was already stationary.
stationary. And as we have Poverty Point, the reason that we're talking about this is that we are doing, my brother Chito Pie and I, as well as Big Chief Kevin Goodman of the Flaming Arrows, we are doing this tour company that is going to bring our history from Poverty Point to now. And Poverty Point is a UNESCO site, which is a World Heritage Site that shows not a nomad culture, but an actual civilization, and actually is known as the first known civilization. It predates Egypt 1,500 years and the pyramids. So the
And
first, uh,
also,
go
and
ahead.
also, Provident Point was the starting of
Mm.
the trade that actually dispersed to go up to St. Louis, Missouri by the Cahokia Mound, and then
Which we
also
know is the
going
Hopewell.
eastward. Yeah, going eastward, going towards Georgia and everything. You
Hmm.
know, that's the way how the trade went. It stopped right there, Louisiana first, and then branched stop, and
Exactly.
then going into Ohio Valley and everything.
And when you go and when you come to our tour, we will take you to Poverty Point where you'll see the river that they used as their commerce as they went back and forth through these different rivers and streams to get all through from up to through Arkansas, through Chicago, all the way over to the East Coast. So as we're
Right.
stating that and bringing us to this point that we are doing this tour company to show our history from before Egypt to now, and that the culture of the Inyans in the city the, are still keeping the culture of the Aboriginal, the only culture that's the only people that's keeping a true Aboriginal culture of this lands before the United States came. So, with that stating, United States coming, that the federations that were on the East Coast, the Iroquois, the Powhatan, these were the first ones to meet, as my brother was speaking of, the Moriscos. These are your King James, your King Charles, and I forgot the third one. It was Charles, James, and one other character. And they had the houses, as he said, the houses of London, just like we have the House of Bourbon, the House of Orleans. These were all Europe used their company names back then. Corporation name was their, was called after the name. So it was the London Company, the Bourbon Company, the Orleans Company.
Virginia Company, which you got the state of Virginia.
Thank you, Virginia Company. Thank you, my brother. I was looking for the other one over there. You got it for me. See how we play off. This y'all gonna get on the tours. You know what I'm talking about? This is the type of fun. We ain't had a whole bunch of laughs. We've been breaking it down, but trust me, y'all come on these tours. Y'all come from wherever y'all are in North America, South America, the Caribbean. Y'all come to New Orleans. We're going to give y'all history upon history, and it's gonna be fun. We play off each other well. So as my brother was saying, they married, and I'm saying now they married into them. So these houses of Virginia that became states, right? These houses that became like, because Orleans, New Orleans is from a house, is the New Orleans house of France, right? So this these first Moriscos to come through were melanated. You can take it on from there. I just want them to understand that to bring them all the way through to where we are. Mm-hmm. 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 Orleans. Yes. Say what? It's what? Do Orleans. Do Orleans. So explain to them on the Moriscos on what they were doing, how they married in.
Yeah, man, they came in and married him, and because they found out that once they married him, the child was the one that inherited the land. That's how they was so-called stewardship or guardianship over the land and everything. That's how that also went, because the contracts and stuff and everything. Just like with the Spanish land grant that was dealing with monkeys, these Ruage. You know what I'm saying? He was a Monkeys meaning the knight. So he was a knight of Monkeys. You know, he married a woman that was of the not the Chapa, was of the Tunica Nation.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? And she had two twin boys for him and everything. And by him being a Marquise and also an Esquire, he had friends that was Esquires too. So they finagled around and got property and everything and did dealing with the Spanish land grants. You know what I'm saying? Now that's funny how, like I said before, yeah, he was of French descent, but his uncle was of Spain, gave him the Spanish land grant for Louisiana before it was even much French.
Okay.
That's how the French was able to transfer Louisiana and everything back and forth.
Wow.
The Spanish had it first, then the French, and the French turned it back over to the Spanish, and the Spanish turned it back over to the French. The reason why, because you had the two brothers that was giving it back and forth because they didn't want the British to get it. And the British still got it because Andrew Jackson was trying to get it, just trying to say that he got Florida, but he never did because he never got the deeds to the West Florides. And, we right here with West Florides is.
Exactly.
Which is right there over by St. Tammany Parish, right there by Highway 12. And it's it right there.
Slidell. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So and to let them know on that the when they, well, I guess you can say when they married in to, I want them to get the part of, and because with the Tunica, as he's saying, with the two brothers going back and forth, that we have to realize when the Europeans came here, they came with the long game. They didn't come with the bang bang shoot 'em up. We the wars didn't come until the tribes was like, yo, this is a fix. These are all Catholics, all these the same thing, right? But when they came in with the smile. They came in to marry into our tribes. They came in and took land through their seeds. which then carried over when they started doing the brown paper bag in New Orleans, when they started making the delineation between what they call Creole, when originally Creole was for Haitian. And it had nothing to do with light skin. It was the opposite.
And see, another thing is that what most people don't know is the Indians in Louisiana didn't start fighting until the Battle of Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And really, that was pretty much the Battle of Orleans, bro. I don't know why they call it the Battle of Orleans because the motherfuckers wasn't even much in Orleans yet. They didn't
Wow.
even make it to Orleans with the war. They was right there in Chalmette, St.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard Parish. That's where it was at.
Yeah.
That's not New Orleans.
Facts. No. Till this day, it's not in the parish of Orleans.
Hey, I still don't know why they call it the Battle of New Orleans when the motherfuckers was in the New Orleans for the
Be-
battle.
because the entire book is a lie, and it's all been done for tourism.
Right, and I bust their ass on that. I said, bruh, I said, that's right there, but, wait, you have Judge Perez, and then what's the other street? I forgot the name of it. God damn it. But it's gonna come to me. But anyway, that's going right there by Chalmette and Araby and all that.
Yeah.
All that St. Bernard Parish. That's not Orleans Parish, and that's not Orleans. You know,
Not at all. Not at all.
not at all.
Like I say, so that's the reason why we're doing a tour, is so that people can truly know the truth of the city and the history of it. But as we talk about the Moriscos, and we're talking about how they married in, and then how they were flipping the land back and forth between the French and the Spanish, so that the Brits wouldn't get in, and then we get to what is the transatlantic slave trade at that point? Or no, we go to the Indian Wars. I'm sorry, then we get to the Indian Wars, or we get to the French Wars.
Well, this will wind up happening. This will wind up happening. Dealing with the transatlantic slave trade, that actually started on the East Coast first, and then it trickled over to the South because Louisiana was the last to get the, with the French and shit,
Yeah,
get the slaves and everything, you know.
facts. But I guess what I was trying to get to that timeline that I had written down.
Because they said New Orleans was founded what in 1729. That's what they said, right?
It's 1718. We just did the tricentennial. In
Yeah.
1718 and
Well,
2018.
that was the Spanish. That's what the Spanish had it in 1718.
All right.
The French and them had got it right after that in the 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you go look at the old maps, you'll see where the big plantation was located right there on the riverfront, right there where the street Choppatulas is at. A matter of fact, where the Harris Casino sitting at, that was one of the largest plantations right there. It was a sugarcane plantation.
Right. Right. So, and that's why we go back to, and that's all before 1609, because the Indian Wars was in 1609. So that's
Which
when
one? Which one that was?
the one with the French Wars, the Indian Wars. That's the 1609. I'll pull it up right now.
Because I know they had one. I know they had one in the 1700s too.
Yeah, they did. They're in 1790.
Yeah, 1790. That's the one I'm speaking about. 1790 one, not the 16 one, because the 16 it was on the East Coast. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the one who came over by when they come into central, the central part of the United States. That was in the 1700s.
yeah, you're right. It was the first Anglo-Powhatan War. So it fought
Yeah, that was
1609 to 1614 and pitted the English at Jamestown against the alliance of the Algonquin speaking Virginia Indians, the Powhatan Federation. So the Powhatans went against the English in Virginia in 1609. And then the largest one was in 1790, the one you're talking about.
yeah, that was the one You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? In the South Coast, because that's when, like I say, you have some nations helping the Spanish, you had some helping the French, you had some helping the British. You know,
yeah,
this shit was crazy.
yeah, yeah. And it's still to this day for me as I've gone through history. That's been the biggest thing. You know where they were able to because when slavery they give us the separation was from the house and the field Negro, right?
Right,
So the E.D. Du Bois against the um, George Washington and Booker T. Washington, right? So the agriculture against going into this beast system of politics, right? That's what they say has been the split between our communities. But when you go back to these wars, when you say like we didn't know that they were all part of this Vatican, this Holy Roman Empire, right? We didn't know that these were just different fashions of it, and we thought they were honorable people. You know, before the fork tongue thing, the double speak came in, right? So
right.
this battle where we started enslaving each other, that was not prior to them coming. So that's why I wanted to ask you as a Yamasee, how when another tribe fought another tribe and they defeated that tribe, yes, they may have taken some in slavery, but was there a slave trade?
No, 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 no. And it was a slavery like their slavery. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Hmm.
it was nothing like with the Moriscos. They did something totally different that was unimaginable to us over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then, and then the thing about it, um, the Spanish slavery was different from the French slavery, and the French slavery was different from the British. The Dutch slavery is totally different. The the the, the, the Dutch and the British and them, they was more brutal than the French and the Spanish.
Yeah, they were
It,
rough. I
it
mean,
was
that Dutch too,
it was
though.
way more it was way more brutal because you know down here in the South, I mean they let their slaves have a little bit leeway, and what I mean by that is like St. Augustine Catholic Church, for instance. After the slaves and them went to church with their masters let them go to Congo Square and let them stay out there till the lights came on.
Right,
And they still was, and even though they was in slavery, they still was practicing their culture in the South.
right.
They were still practicing their culture and their heritage. But in the British, in the Dutch, you motherfuckers better not practice y'all culture and heritage. Oh no. And then another thing is the Spanish and the French and them let their slaves marry. The
Yeah.
British ain't do that shit.
Well, that brings us to the Bacon's Rebellion, right? That stated that because the European women, and weren't that many when they first came over here, right? The European women were marrying the Aboriginal and the slaves, and
Right.
the whites, the male Europeans, they were getting swamped. They were being surrounded. So it became a rebellion, a fight between them. And out of it, what came was that a woman that married a white woman, a free white woman that married a slave man, she would be a slave, and their child would be a slave until the age of 16 or 17. That
It
was
was
when
the age
your
of 18.
huh, say what?
It was the age of 18.
Age of 18, right? So
Yeah.
so that's when your racism came in. But before then, we talk about Moriscos who were because Bacon's Rebellion was in 1676, right? So
Right.
when you're talking about your Moriscos who were, and I'm gonna read the definition for everybody, the label Morisco for Muslims who converted to Christianity began to appear in the text in the first half of the 16th century. Though used, the term at the time was limited. Usage became widespread in Christian sources during the second half of the century, but it was unclear whether Moriscos adopted the term. In their text, it was more common for them to speak of themselves as simply Muslims. In late period, they may have begun to accept that label. The modern times, the label is widespread use in Spanish literature and adopted elsewhere. So, and then also the French Huguenots. I want to give you guys who that are. The French Huguenots were in contact with the Moriscos in plans against Spain in the 1570s. Around 1575, plans were made for a combined attack of Aragonese Moriscos and Huguenots from Bern under the Henry de Navarre against Spanish Aragon, which we know who the Aragons are.
The Huguenots also dealing with the French.
Yes, yes, they were. And an agreement with the king of Algiers. Y'all know I think we got an Algiers here, right? Morocco's, Moriscos,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the reason why the slave masters were named that because you had some slaves that came from Algiers, Tripoli, Morocco, um,
Yes,
Ceylon, the Congo, Senegal, um, what, all the east, all the West Coast. You know what I'm
hmm
saying?
hmm So for us as the ones that tuning in as the Hebrew part, you'll know from Isabella and Ferdinand. These were the or Argon. I think it was Isabella was an Argon or Ferdinand was an Argon. Either one. I think it was the dude that was the Argon, and so that was French. And understand that the marriage between Isabella and the other dude was
Ferdinand,
about the French and the Spanish coming
Union.
together. Union,
Uh
yeah,
huh.
union. You dig? So this was their union in a Caucasoid union. Okay, at this point, because my brother, we're going between the Moriscos. The first one that came here that was the King James, right, who was a black man. You know, he was a melanated, right? Even though he was on the Hebrew side, you have to understand that the Hebrews and Islam worked together in that time. That whole
Right.
south of France all the way to Portugal and also
Because see,
Mauritania.
what they not really saying too, because like in the Atlantic slave trade, you had some Igbos that were
Yes,
put in slavery.
yes,
And Igbos, and them saying they are descendants of Hebrews.
absolutely, yes.
You see? So see, this is the beautiful thing about it because that happened in the 1700s. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Because you had the Yamasi War that happened in 1715, and then after the Yamasi War, you had the Gullah War, which is
Yes,
still the
South
Yamasi
Carolina.
War.
Yeah.
And you had the First Seminole War, the Second Seminole War, and the Third Seminole War, which is still the Yamasi War. But you had to remember, we took those who was of West African descent, like you had the Kizis, you had the Angolians,
hmm
right? You had all those that were slaves that was in the Carolinas, and we took them to Florida with us, and they married some of the women and had children.
Yes. Yep.
You had Igbo men that took Yamasi women and Seminole women and had children. So the children, that was in the 1700s,
Yes.
1700s going into the 1800s. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But yeah, they don't know. You got a lot of people saying, "Oh, the transatlantic slave trade wasn't real," and I'm like, "Well, if it wasn't real, then how the fuck were we able to go ahead on and get these people who we freed with the Yamasi and the Catawba and the Cherokees and the Petey and the Tuscarora and
Uh-huh.
all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like how y'all gonna not deny the people of the African Holocaust?
Well,
And that's the thing. We didn't have no problem with no Africans because we freed them. We helped free those Africans that was actually Hebrews and Moors or Muslims.
yeah.
You see?
Yes.
Because that was the children of Abraham's seed
Yeah.
that they say. So,
Yes.
I mean, you got Ishmael and you got Isaac.
Yes. Yes,
You know?
and many people that's a big part that people understand that the ones that did come in the slave trade were actually the seed of Jacob, was the children of the Most High. So when they came and when some people are saying that it wasn't a slave trade, but some are saying it just didn't happen the way that it has been given
They
to us in
said
the
it.
history books, right?
Yeah, yeah. The numbers wasn't that big because
Right,
the big numbers went down there to Brazil.
right, right. Major numbers to Brazil and Trinidad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is how.
Yeah, some say about 90,000, maybe 150,000, but still that pales in comparison to the millions that were already here that were melanated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Because see, what most people don't know is the Spanish did North America.
mhm, yes,
Their cousins,
the
their cousins of
Portuguese.
Portugal did
Ooh,
South America,
ooh, and
and
they
they
did it.
did. And see, and
And
that's
Haiti.
another thing. Let me bring it all the way back because we were talking about the 1500s, right? In
Uh-huh.
the 1500s, let me show you how it happened. Portugal, listen, Portugal and the Pale Arabs did the East African slave trade. Most people don't know about that.
Ah,
Portugal and the Arabs and them did the East African slave trade.
yes. And tell
While
them
the
about how they,
Spanish,
because they were the ones that helped them get the ones from Angola that was down in and brought them up to the West Coast by Ghana, by Nigeria, and all
but,
that to be taken.
but check
Yeah.
it out, no, check it out. Let me show you something. One cousin nation, the Portuguese did East Africa
Uh-huh.
when the Spanish did East America
Yeah. Yeah.
in the 1500s.
Yeah. Yeah,
One
brother.
did the East
Yeah.
Africa and one did the East of America at the same time. At the same time, by way of the Roman Catholic Church.
By way of the Rome.
Because what most people don't know is Portugal used to be a part of Spain at one time until the Pope went to one of the cousins and told him, say, look, if you was to do this, I'll give you your own portion of land. This way land grants started coming in there. He said, I'll give you your own portion of land where you have your own kingdom.
Uh,
So
uh,
they broke away from Spain. And Portugal and Spain is right next door to each other.
that is. That they
So
are.
you had the Portuguese that went on the east coast of Africa, where you had the Spanish went on the east coast of America.
Facts. Yeah. And they kicked the Hebrews out all from in there, from France, from Spain, all the way down to Portugal. That's when Christopher Columbus came 3 months after the papal bull of the Vatican stated that any of the Hebrews that were still there would be slaves at midnight. And the dude from Portugal, his dirty ass, he said and told everybody that he would provide a boat for everybody that couldn't leave and everybody that couldn't pay the fine or whatever, that he would have a boat to bring them over to the Americas. They don't tell anybody that. And he did not do it.
Right,
Because you know what? He let them all show up at midnight, and when they he didn't have a ship there, they all went to slavery.
right, right, right. Oh yeah, they did some foul
They did
shit.
some foul.
The Roman Catholics, them son of a bitches did some wrong shit. I'ma
You
say
just
it.
got to say what it is.
They went after Laurel Hill. Them motherfuckers can come after me. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's the way how that happened. You know what
Exactly
I'm
how it
saying?
happened. And what people don't realize is that in Daniel chapter 8, it tells you that. It tells you that they were going to come and do it. It tells you that they are the ones that did it. But yet people refuse to read that part. They want to go with this lie, this New Testament thing. And even in the New Testament, they tell you that they the ones, that you ain't supposed to have no idols, that you ain't supposed to follow no man, you ain't supposed to call no man father on this earth, but yet they still do it.
And that's why I had to keep telling people when you have melanated people talking about that is white supremacy. I'm like, no, there wasn't white people that was doing the shit. The Medici and them ran the
Yes,
motherfucking Vatican that was niggas for 400 fucking years when the slave trade was going on. It wasn't no fucking white people.
tell them.
It wasn't no white people. They lied. And guess what? And even when they said it was white people, go look up the coat of arms of their family. They have Moorish heads on the
Moors heads.
and it was not slaves. You can see the Moor heads having crowns with motherfucking big earrings, hoop earrings and shit.
Yes. And that brings me
But
to the
yet,
point.
you got people,
Go ahead.
you got people that's Pan-African said, oh, the white man this and the white man that. And I'm like, no, it was
You
motherfuckers with the same color skin. That's why we say folks with the same skin ain't
ain't
kin.
kin. I ain't always kin. And that's why we bringing this out, because I think that when people really understand how this thing happened.
The
See,
pale face been lied to. The pale face been
I
lied to.
told that to a brother, that a young white guy I met that was on Canal Street with that new church, Bethany, right? I went out there to check him, and I like to check people. So, I tell him, I said, the day that all this changes when you realize that you're in the same captivity that I'm in. When that
Right.
happens, then we can really talk. But until you think that you ain't in captivity with me, you in cognitive dissonance. You don't understand reality.
Guess what? That's why in these secret societies, that's why they say never no more, because they knew what the fuck happened. They knew when you had King Charles the First, the little black boy king that was sending paleface over here to America. They're trying to sugarcoat that shit and say indentured servant. Look,
They were the
they still had
wretched.
a
They
fucking
were the
master.
wretched. They were the wretched
They
of their
still had a
community.
master.
Huh?
Right? They still had a master. They can try to sweeten that shit all the fuck they want. They still had a master. They still got their ass whipped too.
Facts.
But talk about that.
Facts.
You see, but that's the shit that they want to keep hitting and all that there. They don't want to talk about white slavery. They
And
got
that's
the
the
fuck
problem with the intellectual black. The intellectual black will come across this information and feel some type of way. He don't want to tell everybody he knows that it was our own people. So he holds the lie. The white guy that comes up, he's holding that in his little badge, like I can't wait for y'all to say something because I got this in there. I got this truth right here in the bag. It wasn't us.
Bro, Health has been saying this shit since the motherfucking years. They say, hold on, it was your own people that enslaved y'all.
Yep.
It was, but yet they say, hold on. But when you go back and you look at it, okay, case in point. When you had the Zulu Empire in South Africa, and they were fighting other African nations.
Mhm.
It showed you where the British went down there and stuff. And Shaka Zulu said, who made you go to war? Your Lord Jesus or your Lord Shaga?
Yeah, yeah, your Lord Shaka. I love that movie.
Oh, the white boy look. Oh shit. Shaka said, I am the great Bobosi.
Over here, I am your white God. You know what I'm saying? Over here, I am God. Yeah, Shaka wasn't playing with him. Shaka's like, I don't care what y'all talking about that dude over there.
Shaka was in the motherfucking, what they call it? Psychology, and they didn't even know it.
He didn't even know it. And Shaka, one part I love about the movie is that when that white boy wrote down on for the first time the name thing, he was like, I don't like that. Shaka was like, yeah. The people don't fear. Fear is what make them remember me. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I go out there and slice and dice, that I'm a warrior. I brought them food. I done conquered everybody. That's how they remember my name. They ain't got to write nothing down. That's a spell. You go think, no, it's not a spell. It was a spell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But see, they got him when he got to start getting gray hair and shit. He dyed his hair. He thought he was you again.
Yeah,
So Shaka said there will be no more after me. There will
right.
be no king. I will be king.
Yeah, see, and that's when he got to that he started tasting that mortality, and he started
Yeah,
wigging out. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna die. Hold up, maybe we should write my name down. Let me just try write a book about me.
guess what? Just like you said, his name already wrote before they even fucking wrote it down.
Before they ever wrote it down, Shaka
You know
was,
how big the motherfucking Zulu Empire was in South Africa?
and many will tell you that Zulu was a Hebrew tribe, but that's neither here nor there. But let me tell you this, all right, to go back to our point, and that the Moriscos, because what we're saying is that when we got to look at who. I'm glad that you love for the clarity. All praises, TCA goddess. So when we look back at the ones that really, huh? Uh-huh. I'm with you on that there. So what we find is that the ones that actually colonized America, and y'all want to know, well, how did the white guy get here? Well, it wasn't the white guy. It was a negotiation between other melanated people. Melanated Aboriginal here against melanated that was the King James and all of them, from your Moriscos to your Hebrews. They brought the wars over here. Now, we hear the story of Caucasians doing it. Well, the thing is that they sent the worst of the worst. Y'all know how Australia was seated, right? They sent all the prisoners to Australia. The same thing they did here.
With the French, they sent all their prisoners here.
They sent.
Killed them all.
That's why they were indentured servants, because it was either stay in jail in France or come work for your freedom in some land. That's actually what the European Caucasians was given. Either you stay in jail here or you go and work there as an indentured servant and get land.
Because that was the people who wanted to go. Because they said,
So we gotta realize that many people, huh? The gallows, right? So you gotta realize that Columbus was probably black.
guess
Once
what? Guess what? I had a blog talk radio show. Me and my cousin Jason Nathaniel, you made Walk with the Great Spirit. In 2012, I was the first one to bring that out and show that Christopher Columbus was a Moorish Sephardic Jew.
Yes, yes. Now let's break.
And hold up, and he was a Knights of Templar.
Now let's break down what we just said. What that title you just said: Moorish, Sephardic. What you said? Moorish, Sephardic, Jew. Well, Sephardic, yeah, Sephardic can mean the same. So
Yeah.
now look at Moorish, which means Islam, and Sephardic means Hebrew. Now that's a real title, right? Y'all want to understand what he's saying, because when the Caucasians, the Holy Roman Empire came in, people said they was converting, said, yeah, I'm with you on the Holy Roman, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, look, you got the guns, baby, you got the sword on my neck. And they called them converts, they gave them different names. That's where your Moriscos come from. This is a convert name that they gave. These are people that's originally Muslim, melanated, that because the wars was lost and the gig was up, they now said they was Christians. But when they see that America, huh?
But guess what? Rome was a part of the Moorish Empire.
Break it down for them, brother.
All right, I'm about to put it up. Hold on, I'm about to put it up.
So if you understand what he's saying, while he pulls it up, let me give him the backstory. So you know that the Moors ran Europe for 800 years. All right. We understand that
Actually, it was 9, but
we gonna go with 9. We gonna go with our history. So it was 900 years that the Moors ran Europe. So we're talking about what you traditionally think of as white, cold places. You know what I'm saying? Was actually ran by us as melanated people. Now we ran when we ran from Jerusalem. You dig? We ran from Jerusalem. We went all the way to St. Petersburg, Russia, all the way to France, to every place. You know what I'm saying? We ran to all places, right? So this Holy Roman Empire, when what was to say first? The 900 years of the Moors, right? They ran all of Europe. Everything that you see in their history, every shield of armor that they have, which shows their lineage and where they come from, has a black Moorish face on it. So what my brother is saying, he about to bring out to you what you got on the screen, is that the Holy Roman Empire came up out of that. Go ahead.
see right here, the Moorish King and Holy Roman Empire. See, you got that right there.
Yeah. Bring them out, bring it out.
You know, did you know that the Holy Roman Empire built by Moors?
Uh,
Right? Was there ever a Moorish Holy Roman Emperor? You see?
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Look, timeline. Look, timeline. 700 and 800. Pope Gregory II, Emperor Leo. You know, yeah. You
Yeah,
know, the Moore's New World Encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me see if I can see if they have the map. See, look,
that's
see,
Charles.
look.
Yep.
Oldenburg. Look at the Moor with the crown. You see that?
Uh-huh. That's right.
You see that? Yeah. Because see, you have to remember. Look, even look. See, look. This right here. Look. This right here. Right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can I enlarge this? Can I enlarge this? I think I can. Hopefully I can enlarge it. Okay. More like this. Uh,
African royalty, huh? Uh-huh.
yeah. Let me see what
African royalty of the Holy Roman Empire. Uh-huh. Oh,
there you go.
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne and
Punk.
the African royalty of the Holy Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
See? See?
See, when y'all hear about Charlemagne, you don't never hear about him being a Moor, though, huh? You only hear about him being.
Why you think the boy from the Breakfast Club called himself Charlemagne the God?
Uh-huh. I already know. Already
Which
know.
which he named himself that, but I don't think he really know what the fuck he named himself.
I don't know because I think he's an absolute sellout, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm saying. I don't think he really know the name.
but
You
think
know?
about it like this though, Chief. That him being a Huguenot, which is a Morisco, which is a descendant of Charlemagne here, which came over as you just stated that y'all tribes brought in these Moriscos, right? He's from Charlotte, North Carolina. He may actually be a descendant of this dude and acting the same way because he sold us out. And Charlemagne on Breakfast Club is damn sure selling out black people.
Oh yeah.
So I'm saying he following his own his lineage. He following his
Yeah,
tribe.
got it right here. Saturday of 742 and 1848 was the first Holy Roman Empire. At the time, Europe was predominantly
Predominantly
African.
African. So
All
when we
right, this
tell
was
y'all,
the famous culture of Charlemagne and Esso Chapel in Germany. See, in Germany, see, most people didn't know this was in Germany.
that's what I said, St. Petersburg, man, Russia, Germany, man, was there. That's I'm telling you,
Right?
the Ashkenazis,
Moors was all in Germany. St. Maurice. They got a whole St. Maurice Square in
abs-
Germany.
absolutely. What we have to people don't have to understand is that these uh, these Attila the Huns, all right? These Mongolians and these the Huns, the Mongols and the Huns became civilized through our interaction with them from being Moriscos to Hebrews. Because on my side as a Hebrew, I got much history of us going into that area, right? So when we civilized these people, they came in and took over.
See, like, you got a crown on his head.
Yeah,
Black rulers, see, with the earrings and everything. And see, and over there in Europe, they give this history out. We
yeah.
don't get that history out over here.
No, can't have that.
And
Can't let you black people know you come from royalty. We got a thing going over here. Y'all believe in that slavery thing. Y'all believe y'all was nothing but booty scratchers in Africa. I can't let y'all know that y'all world travelers. Can't let you know that.
hold on, let me flip it to you. Let me mess your head up. Let me mess your head up. See, you gotta remember when you had royals in them, it was coming over here too, and it was having children by indigenous women, and there's things that's called royal Indians
Huh? Royal
because they have
Indian.
They have Indians who have bloodline of rulers, right? Because you got to remember, how does one become a king?
But hold up, Powhatan, that's the whole thing. The chief of the Powhatan Confederation went to Europe. Remember, he went to Europe to go with the king and supposedly died there under suspicious issues, right? As they act as though that the Aboriginal here didn't go to Europe. You know what I'm saying? They act as though we didn't go to Europe, that they only came here and we got stuck here as booty snatchers. But nah, the chief went there and died in Europe and started a war. Go ahead.
Yeah, they'll talk about that, but yeah, but people don't have to understand. To be a king or royal, they said, and to be a royal, you had to have Moorish blood.
Ah,
To be, you had to have Moorish blood.
oh, I get it.
And see, and the thing is, before you became a royal, you was what?
You're the Inyan. You was
No,
a
no,
chief.
no.
What?
Over there in Europe,
Oh, in Europe.
for you to be a king, you had to be what? You had to have Moorish blood. But how did the ranking go? Before you was king, you had to be a what?
I guess you had to be a prince.
A prince is a child of the king. But
Or
how does one go to king status?
from dukes. You working up through the dukes and the no? Okay. No working up the ranks. Uh,
Look at it from the board of chess.
all right. I'm seeing the board of chess. So you got the queen and you got the king and you got who's next to the king is your bishop. And
Uh,
then no, the bishop's on the end. You got your horse, your knight, and
ah,
your knights. You got
yeah,
your warriors,
yeah.
your army.
You before you had to be king, you had to be a knight first.
Ah,
You had to be a
okay.
knight first.
Ah, all right. You had to be a knight first.
You had to be a knight. And guess what? To be a knight, you had to have Moorish blood. Why you think Hollywood came up with the movie called What with Martin Lawrence?
Ah, the Blackamoor.
The Black
Yeah,
Knight.
you're
The
right.
Black Knight.
The Black Knight, the
They call
Blackamoor.
him the Black Knight, but in the movie they call him what? A Moor.
Yeah, they did through the whole time. Yeah.
And what happened when he saw the king's daughter?
I forgot that part. What happened?
He said, "Your daughter's a free." Remember that? Your daughter's a free. So
What? Uh,
by her being pale, and Martin Lawrence fucked her in
uh,
the movie.
oh, that's what he was. I forgot about that part. That's right, he did. Okay, so when he was fighting the
Yeah,
White King. That's right, when he was fighting the White King. He okay now I'm getting to remember. All right, so he goes to
yeah,
the White King. He's fighting. Tells
yeah,
her she's a freak. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. See, they missed that part. They missed that part. They missed looking at movie being on funny, but I'm like, hold on. They showed him sleeping with her when he came up and they said, "Your daughter's a free." And you know, back then in medieval times, there was no motherfucking thing called contraceptive.
I mean, even before then, when you talk about the Phoenicians and how they went across everywhere, they seeded. How do you think we got the Phoenician language, or the, you know what I'm saying, which was Moors and which was North Africans, which became Moors, I guess. You know what I'm saying? These everywhere
The
they went.
Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, all of us Moors, and then you had the cousins and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, man, that's real. Cause that wherever we went, we hit. Whatever they went, they hit. You know what I'm saying? Wherever they went, they impregnated.
you have to be a knight first, and then you move up in rank.
And look at the fact that in history, because that's truly a method, right? So we started off this talking about how they were getting into the tribes, the Europeans, by marrying into the tribes because that was their long-term, plan with it. And then you're talking about it here with the knights and that situation. And what I want to bring is that the Genghis Khan, his whole thing was to impregnate, to have as many children so that he could build this nation. And to this day, the Muslims will tell you that their way of taking over the world is that they are trying to have sex with everybody and have as many kids as they can. Muslims will tell you that that's part of their jihad.
Why do you think the Genghis Khan down there in Saudi Arabia, he said, if you have been doing what you're supposed to be doing, your God was gonna have sick. Don't you know? Don't you know? And most people don't know this. Don't you know you have a lot
No, man, hold on. You gotta stop it. You gotta go back to Genghis. Hold on. You gotta go back to Genghis, man. Hold on. Genghis tells them, yo, if you was doing what you was supposed to be doing, your God wouldn't have sent me. But that's gangster. That's gotta be the most gangster line I ever heard in my life. Trip in the building.
and look, you know what movie this is a martial arts movie with my partner, Michael Jaleel White,
Yeah.
Blood and Bones.
Bloody Bones, I hadn't seen that one.
You never saw Blood and Bones?
No, I gotta
That,
peep it.
that's when he first got in contact with Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice had his first part in that movie.
Okay.
That's when he did MMA.
All
Right
right.
after that. Yeah. And the dude who was fighting Michael Jaleel White at the end said that. He said, I am the wrath of God. If you were supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, he would never send me.
Boy, that's Genghis. So Genghis
Yeah.
told that to them boys in Saudi Arabia, which is Babylon.
Genghis Khan was the one that brought the motherfucking Quran to China.
Yeah, he was. Genghis was a bad man. Genghis was a bad.
Everybody talking about Buddhists. You got a lot of Muslims in China.
Yes, you do.
You got more Muslims in China than motherfucking Buddhists.
Yeah, and you do. That's where that's his stronghold. Because Mongols, that was their, they yeah, strictly so. And that's also why many people don't know that Muhammad was actually a Hun. He was from the tribe of Attila the Hun. Muhammad had red hair. This is from the
I thought he was
Huns.
from the tribe of
Shabazz,
no, tribe of Quraysh.
tribal Quraysh, but in the Quran, Muhammad states that he's white, that he comes from a northern land. He doesn't come from Turkey.
But there was two Muhammads, right? That was
Oh,
that was two Muhammads. You talk about the white Muhammad, that wasn't the real Muhammad.
I
That
ain't
was
never heard that they had two Muhammads.
yeah,
I don't know one Muhammad. And I know
that
that
was not
these,
that was not this that was not Mustafa Muhammad El Amin. That was not him.
well, we,
Peace and blessings be upon him. That was not Mustafa Muhammad El Amin. Peace and blessings of the Ansar. No,
well, then
that
you
was
know
not him.
what? We're going to do a show just on
You
that,
know
on
what though?
breaking down the white
No,
and the
man.
black Muhammad.
You didn't know I had two Muhammads?
No, I knew that there was a branch in there between the Shiites. Look, I know about the Dome Jews that came in. And you have the Sunnis, you have the original blood of the Muhammad bloodline that continues to go down. And then you had these ones that came in.
The Sunnis, the Shiite, and the Ahmadiyya.
Ah, the Mahdi's. Uh-huh. Ahmadiyans are the true Ishmaelites. Those are the true Ishmaelites.
You know?
Mhm.
So yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to
That
do a show on that.
that pale white Muhammad, that was not Mustafa Muhammad El Amin. Peace and blessings be upon him. You know that no of the Quraysh tribe? No.
Oh, we're going to.
Because see, you have to understand the Quraysh tribe and them they also went into Ethiopia.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because that's
And Saudi
basically what they
Arabia is
became.
right fucking there, right across the Red Sea from Ethiopia.
And
You know?
they did, but the Ethiopians first with Hebrew, then they went. They were never the Hebrews and Ethiopians rocked together before the Hebrews fell off and Ethiopians were standing there. The Muslims came in, then they converted over to Islam, and yeah, it went from there.
Right there in Yemen, you had the Sabaean Empire. The Sabine, and it was Muslims.
Yeah, the Sabines. Yeah, yeah. And the thing about the Sabines, they all cousins. You know what I'm saying? They all cousins. Ain't no thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the whole. That bring us back to our point of the Moriscos and the Huguenots and the Hebrews that were brought here, the Ebos, that were brought here in through the slavery, and the fact that these Moriscos were Muslims that converted to Christianity because Christianity began to gobble up that region, and it gobbled
Well,
up.
that's one way of putting it. But actually, you have Moriscos that was before that.
Break them
Because,
down.
see, once again, the Moors and them was the ones that constructed Catholicism.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So you already had well, if they constructed it, then it would be considered also as Moriscos because Pope Mendez was already the Pope in what? In 310?
I'm not sure. I know it
310
wasn't
AD.
until
310
three.
AD? Yeah. 310 AD. He was the one that made Emperor Constantine convert to Catholicism. You didn't know that, huh?
Say that again. Which one had him convert to Catholicism? Who that?
I'm gonna pull it up for you. I'm gonna pull
Yeah,
it up. I'm
because
gonna pull it up.
well, to the point that we're
I'm gonna pull it
making,
up
the
on
reason
my
what
page.
we, go ahead.
I'm gonna pull it up on my page. That's got the 30 days.
Because what we're saying is that, well, the reason why I'm getting clarification is because I understand the African um, spirituality system is mimics Christianity. Christianity mimics the African spiritualism, however you want to flip it, right? And understanding that what this Morisco or Muslim Islam faith that came out of that it is the youngest of the faith. So when we're talking about Morisco being the Holy Roman Catholic and saying that they were Moors prior to, and that the Moors were Islam, well, it seems that the Moors were actually Christians first, or well, not Christians, but they were the Holy Roman Empire. When they got pushed out by the Caucasians, they started Islam. Maybe they wanted to go back to a more pure form. Muhammad said, "Nah, we're not doing this Charlemagne, this Holy Roman Empire that we're going back to the Torah." And then Muhammad's teachings is his interpretation of where we should be from the Torah, because the Torah is
Remember,
in the Quran.
you had Moors before Islam.
Right. So what was Moore's belief system? Was it the African belief system, which was of the Egypt, right, which was of the different Osiris and oh, you
No,
know what I'm saying?
you gotta remember dealing with those tribes and stuff. It was dealing with astronomical shit. You know what I'm saying? When they talk about Alat, that was dealing with the
The moon,
she was dealing with the moon.
moon god, right?
They had because you gotta remember, you had what? I think they said they had like 300 and something deities
Yeah, they
and
did.
stuff.
Yeah,
And,
they did.
and Muhammad went inside the Kaaba and knocked all that shit down
But they
and
said
said,
that with Abraham, he knocked down the ones in Egypt, and then now, you got Muhammad doing the same story.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So, you know, that's what I mean by the Quran. The beginning of the Quran is the Torah. The Torah, the 5 books of Moses, is the base of the Quran, and then you go into Muhammad's teachings. It's the same as with Christianity, where you have the Old Testament, which is the Torah, the books of Moses, and then you got our prophets, but then it's their doctrine, their Holy Roman doctrine is the New Testament, which is a mesh of African spiritualism into their God system, because the Torah didn't have any multiple gods. It was a single God situation, a scenario. Monolithic, monotheistic um, faith. So
See, look, the Roman Catholics got it right here. I'm about to pull it up.
see in the building, Galen, my brother.
You can see it?
Yes, it's small on my screen though, but I see the image though with the writing. I can't read
Hold
it.
on, let me see if I can
I got a split screen because we on the live thing, so they may be able to see it.
y'all see it now.
Yeah, that's better. See, I told y'all. For those who didn't know, yes, we were Moorish. There was Moorish Pope. There was, yeah,
Morisco
Pope.
Popes.
And they got Melchizedek, huh? And called Saint Melchizedek. Whoa, I did a whole show on that Melchizedek name. That is quite interesting. Was the Moor that converted Emperor Constantine to Christianity. Here, whoa, see that Melchizedek is a whole other thing. You know they had a Melchiz,
Melchizedek.
that's the name he took on.
Yeah. You know, look. Look. This is the I gave you the link. But I give you the link. Look,
Yeah,
the
I'm about
black
to watch
popes,
that tonight.
you see black popes and saints and leaders, Catholic Church News Herald. That's from their newspaper.
They let it know themselves.
I was like, I'm gonna take my motherfucking word for it. Nigga, I'm gonna let the Catholic Church newspaper take it.
Well, I'm
You ain't
gonna
gotta
stop
believe
wasting my breath.
you ain't gotta believe me. Hold on. Shit, you ain't gotta believe me. I had 99 comments on that bitch. I forgot what year I did that. I think it was 2008. Let me see what year I did this shit. They got the date on it. You see. Oh well. Look, that's the news. Look, that's the newspaper. That's the newspaper.
Man, I think they done kicked our people out all night on the show, man. I have many people that tried to come in and then they're gone and they're still just showing out too, but they'll be able to check it out,
Yeah,
rebroadcast.
yeah, yeah. See, you
Yeah,
got the
Black Catholic popes.
yeah.
Yeah, and they don't give you none of their names. No,
Oh yes,
I'm talking about in normal history, like as a common. I never heard no Saint Melchizedek.
look, he doing right here. See, I told you. Look, 311, 311, 314. Told you that. 310,
311
311.
to 314. Oh yeah, I'm
Told
gonna
you
do
that.
some good studies on that
Look,
one.
look, look, look. He was the Pope who Constantine um, the great defeated his enemies and assumed control over Rome and paving the way to the end of persecution of Christians. Constantine gave the Pope the Lateran palace known as the Papal Archbasilica in St. John Lateran, right, where he became the papal residence and seat of Christian government.
Ah,
He was the last pope to be buried in the catacombs. And his feast is what? December the 10th. His feast about to get ready to come up.
ah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. Oh yeah. I
Oh
got
yeah,
some
fuck with me,
questions
man. I
about
got the information.
Melchizedek. What?
I got the information going from the Aboriginal to Moorish and all that shit.
Already know, my brother. That's why we make a great team, my brother. With
Oh,
that said, let's bring everybody back to our thing is that we have launched Aboriginal tours, and y'all can go to the website. Why don't you pull the website up right quick right there so they can see it? AboriginalToursLA.com.
Let's see something.
Soon we're gonna get our picture and our mug and bios up there, but we just right now, we just got the site up for y'all. YouTube, I'm gonna pop it up for y'all right now.
Yo,
So everybody on YouTube, you see it's right there in front of you. And that is Big Chief El Womble right there, the Cheyenne tribe.
you said .com?
Yep. AboriginalToursLA.com.
AboriginalToursLA.com?
Yep. See how much my brother goes to his own website? I'm just messing with you.
I'm trying to look. I'm trying to make sure I got it right. Oh, right here?
Yep. Aboriginal Tours, all one word, with the S, LA.com.
Am I doing this shit right? No, I don't think I'm doing it right.
You in the search, you can just go into your URL.
Okay. Wow. Okay, let me go up here. Okay, what happened? What's going on? Oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah, don't put no spacing in it, man. Just put it all one word.com. There you go. Just put
Oh,
Aboriginal.
shit. I'm about to get it, bro.
It's all good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up for the night, you guys, after we get a look at the website and announce to you guys as well. Not only are we doing the tour, yeah, not only are we doing the tour company, but Chito and I will be doing. I don't know why I'm looking at it right here. You got AboriginalTours.com. Not Aborigine, but Aboriginal. ABORIGINALTOUR.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah. Tours.
ABORIGINAL. Tour.
Tours, not with an S. Put an S on tours.
Yes.
TOURS.
Okay. Okay.
LA.
Got it.
Tours LA. Yeah.
Opposite the S. Okay. Opposite the S.
There we go. There we go.
Opposite the S. Okay. My bad. My bad.
So y'all, let's see. Like I said, we have not put our bios on here, but this is just, understanding of what we're doing. As y'all see right here, we had planned to do a tour in September, but we obviously Ida has changed that, and it says our thoughts and prayers go out to all those afflicted by the destruction of Hurricane Ida. If there is one thing we know,
all the way to the East Coast, all the way up to Chicago.
yeah, Ida was a mother. As
They
in
was
one,
stuck.
yep, one thing
You was in the
people,
storm too, right?
huh?
You was in the storm. Oh, no, you left, huh?
Nah, I was here. I was here the whole time. We
Yeah,
was
man,
in,
that thing was rocking and rolling.
yeah, we wound up evacuating to St. Charles Parish, to St. Rose, right there in the eye, watching. We heard transformers blowing up all night. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, I was in 2 days later.
hmm So as
I,
you'll
I
see,
think I thought a freight train was coming through that bitch.
yeah, that wind was not nice. 125 mile per hour, 130 mile per hour winds is serious. But as you guys see here, we gave our love out to everybody, but we know how to rebuild. And so this website we were supposed to kick off the night before Ida. We was already getting ready to do this and do the show we're doing right now. Chito and I were trying to figure out how we was going to do the show, and this
That
happened.
Friday,
Yeah,
do
that
the show
Friday.
that Friday, do the show that Friday, and buy your pictures that
Yep,
Sunday.
yep.
I was that shit.
Said nah, not tonight, not this time. So everybody, and so due to the scheduling complications, obviously the storm, so we're switching it to the 17th. So we want everybody to try and sign up for that. That's our local tour, our 1 day tour. So as you read the Aboriginal tours of Louisiana, we offer the most in-depth, community-based, historically guided tours capturing the essence of the Louisiana Native tribes, the true reference to past to present. Come celebrate the native tribes of Louisiana Territory as you uncover untold history of our land in this gem of an experience in Louisiana tourism. So, as y'all been hearing tonight, you've heard a lot of information that you didn't readily know. You're going to find out even more if you guys come on to the tour. And then we have for our corporate tours, we have 2 day tours where we spend a full day immersed in the New Orleans Inyan community and meet with big chiefs and get a full ritual done, a full ceremonial done. And then on the second day, we'll go up to Poverty Point and spend the time there and eat. As you see, this is our culture. This is the Aboriginal people that's been here before Europeans came. Now you see Big Chief Kevin Goodman right there, be the chief that will be singing for you guys when he comes. When you come in and let you know how we get down, how we sing and interact with each other in our community. So
Oh, I see you got all the chiefs look good up there.
yeah, man. Oh, you already know, Big Chief of that yellow Pocahontas. You know what I'm saying? His family is the lineage of that. So we couldn't actually do a picture of the Inyans and the history when we're talking about the history of this community without having Big Chief Darrell Montana. So yeah, and his daddy Tootie Montana, who changed our culture from being a more rougher culture that dealt with our frustrations against each other and turned it into looking at the artistry of our culture. So, we give thanks and love for that family, for the Montana family, for that. So, yeah, man. So we gonna give you a lot.
And also,
Yeah, raise up you low. They couldn't hear
you hear
you.
me? You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me? I said, I know how to be refined, you know what I'm saying? If you want to refine, I can be refined. I know how to speak with different vernacular. You want me to be loud, I can speak to you. You
Now
know what I'm
let
saying?
me speak to that. Since we are doing the show on Hebrew State of Being tonight, I want to apologize to any of my people that normally come on here and don't hear such colorful language and flavorful language as my
That's
brother.
all that's what
Yeah.
we talking about. You know.
So, But when we do our podcast, all my people that do watch me on Hebrew State of Being know that I won't be putting the handcuffs on Chito. I will ask him to kind of keep it down to a minimum of the F bombs, but know that we want to get the information out. But yes, as he just told you, he has the ability. He can go both ways. He can flow with that. Can I get a section for my? Oh wow, man, we got a Bannock. Yeah, you want to get a section for your godfather Bannock? Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. We say Wazam is in the building online, but yeah, we definitely can work that out, man. We gotta send me a DM and we'll work it out, man. So for our local community, huh? Because I'm going live on. Well, this is off of my Black Masking on my Inyan Instagram. Because we on Facebook, but I got my Instagram going as well. And this is from the Black Masking, the Inyan channel. So Inyan saying they want a section for their godfather, Larry Bannock. So for the tour. So we got people, man. They want a section on the website, I guess, as well for for him. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Oh, no doubt. You know what I'm saying. He's represented in the culture. Bannock is known in the culture. He may not have the pictures, but if you got some photos of Bannock, that's what we need. We can get some authentic photos that you give us the right to be able to use, then we would love to put Bannock up because he's a staple in the community. You know what I'm saying? Off top. But that's a big thing. A lot of people wonder why we don't use a lot of different Indians pictures and photos is because we understand how our culture has been used, how people take the pictures and they go and get money from people and the tribes that you take the picture from never get it. So the pictures that you guys see mostly on all the stuff that I do is because I have an agreement with the Cheyenne tribe and Big Chief Al Womble, and we have a business relationship. So he allows me to use his like image from our agreement to use his like image to promote the culture of the city. So even though Big Chief Kevin Goodman is going to be part of our tour, we're still going to be using pictures of Cheyenne's tribe as we push this. So we don't use a lot of different pictures unless people give us the okay to do it because we don't want anybody to feel like we're making money off of them and what they do. You know what I mean? So, man, definitely. So you're only descendant. You had no children. Well, man, if you was only descendant, man, definitely my brother. Type in your real name so I know how to get at you. But yeah, give us his pictures, man, and we'll put them on the website, man. We are happy to celebrate our community. But if anybody want to be on the website and want to be a part of the representing of our Aboriginal culture here, please send it to either Chito or myself, and right on that, send us a picture and with your little piece saying y'all have the right to use this picture, and we will use it, right? Chi?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because a couple of weeks ago, I was in Indian World, right? I don't know if you're in there. You in that group? Indian
Yeah, I'm in
World?
Indian world. Yeah, in Indian suit world. Yeah.
Okay. So something happened in there, and I made a comment. And so somebody said that, oh, we don't have nothing to do with the real Indians.
Wow. Alonzo Piper. All right, my brother, we're gonna get together.
And I said, y'all don't have nothing to do with the real Indians. I said, if y'all don't have nothing to do with the Indians, then why do y'all call my great great cousin?
Right. Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, you, it's just like what one of my trail chief said, he said, Pa, they not there to learn, they there to play. Well, you playing Indian, but yet. See, what most people don't know is that you have a lot of real Indians that mask Indians.
Yeah.
If you,
Say it again. I don't sew. They already got in trouble for me not sewing. They done made a song behind me, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, you don't know the song? You ain't no in. Well, oh, you ain't no in ya. You ain't no in ya, huh?
That was about you.
Try. Oh, it wasn't. Okay.
No, that was about you.
All right. Cause you know where to go if you don't soak. You ain't no in ya
No.
if you don't soak.
No, that song came about because you had people that was sewing, and they wasn't really sewing. And when they came out the Mardi Gras, I mean, I mean, you, I mean, everybody. To me, everybody is beautiful in their own way, bro.
Uh huh.
You know, but you know, I hear other Indians be talking about how other Indians came out. You know, the glue showing on their suit and the threads showing, the marabou and feathers and stuff falling off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's come from. Like, look, you better go sow. You talk about
Yeah.
coming at. You know what I'm saying? That's what this song is. You know, but yeah. I mean, even the stories that they keep on saying about how the slaves ran from the plantations to go to the Indian village. If
Yeah.
I was to ask, every Indian was to ask, I was to ask those Indians that say that story, I'd be like, okay, well, where the Indian village is at?
Huh. You're right.
Where was the Indian village at that the Africans that was brought here to New Orleans, where was those Indian villages at?
I know one or two of them, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of people don't know where the Indian villages are, but
Do you know what the meaning of a fucking plantation is?
it's a work. It's actually a plant. It's a work plant.
Do you know how many acres consist of a fucking plantation?
Tell them, nah, I don't know how many acres it's got to be.
I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you. It's over 1,000. How many acres is a plantation?
Cool. They can verify the memorabilia. I'm with you, my brother. Let's do it, Alonzo, man. Let's do it. I will put him on front page because he's done a lot. Many chiefs that I interviewed talk about him.
You
Go
see
ahead.
it?
Oh yeah, okay, I see it now. It says approximately 500 to 1,000. Oh wow, or more acres. So each plantation was 500 acres. Whoa.
500 to 1,000 or more.
There's a woman in New Rose, Louisiana. There's a woman that's my family. That's Catherine DePaul. Now I didn't know these numbers until you just said it, but I always wondered because they were saying that she owned a plantation, but she sold all of New Rose, Louisiana, to the Spanish. That's what it's New Rose is what their word for their community here was New Rose. Anyway. So,
Listen,
but she still had all the rest of the False River. She still had so much more. I didn't realize how much of how big a plantation was. And they said she had more than one.
bruh, do you know the motherfucking magnitude this is?
Wow.
Approximately 500 to 1,000 or more acres of land produce one or two crops and sometimes livestock for sale. Now, watch this. If Africans ran to Indian Village, first of all, New Orleans is not like the fucking way it is now. Back then, you had fucking swamps, okay?
Hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Outside of Rampart was swamp land, okay? Check this out. How many acres is, hold on, God damn it, uh, what's the name of our racetrack again?
Oh, the fairground.
All right, yeah. How many acres is the fairgrounds?
I don't even know. It's a
Hold on,
good
look, look,
question.
look, look.
I'm trying to get the phone back right.
The fairground acres is 200 acres. Look, today the fairground comprised nearly 200 acres.
Say that again?
200
Yeah,
acres.
2 acres.
200 acres. Look, it's 200 acres. Look, right there.
Wow.
200
Wow.
acres.
200 acres.
So
That's less than a plantation.
that's what I'm trying to tell you now.
Yeah.
So just imagine a nigga running the motherfucking fairgrounds.
Ooh. Imagine that. Your family had 500 acres to
All the
1,000 acres.
fairgrounds. From motherfucking Galvez, from Gentilly, running from Gentilly all the way to Mo Street. Because that's the back of the racetrack.
Right.
And then you got the graveyard.
You know, that makes me think that because you always hear the stories that the Indians didn't have a concept of owning the land because it was the most, the Great Spirit's land. And
No.
that they
It didn't go like that. It didn't go like that. That's what those of the Lakota and them say of the Plain Indians.
Right.
They're the ones that did it.
You mean
They're
the
the ones
Mongolian
that
ones? You mean the $5 Indian Mongolian ones?
Yeah,
Them.
they're the ones that said that no, over here, no. Yeah.
So
We who are mound builders, we didn't say that bullshit.
right, because it was our land. So what happened is what I'm seeing is that our people had such vast acreage, and these Europeans coming over here talking about, can I just get 50 acres? And then them saying, whatever, you can take that little plot of land and do whatever you want to do. That's probably the worst part of our land or whatever. Not knowing that they, like you said, not knowing they were part of that Holy Roman Empire. Being then taking that little 50 acres and then imposing and pushing on the rest of the land and the rest of the people, getting them to fight against each other and doing the forked tongue to where now they're producing crops for the 500 acres was producing crops for the people that own 50 acres. When those crops didn't yield and those loans were given out early, or they gave the money early for them for the crops, they then became indebted to the people that owned only 50 acres and then became slaves.
So talking about, oh, he was running off the plantation.
Yeah.
No. An African wasn't running from the plantation by his fucking self or by himself. You didn't know the terrain and the swamps and everything.
Right. You did
You
not.
didn't know that. You didn't know that. You had to have an Indian to show you. Why you think it says at St. Augustine when they say both Indians and African slaves
Yes. Together.
together? It was the Indians that was enslaved. It was the Choctaw and the Chickasaw and all of them that was enslaved here in Louisiana, even all the way up there to the Whitney plantation.
All the way to the Whitney plantation. Yes.
And when the only way how you can get there is and see, that was a big old problem because the Indians was running back to the reservation,
Right.
or to the village.
To the village. Mm-hmm.
That was a problem because it was like, man, and then it got so to where they started running into the motherfucking deeper parts of the swamps.
Right.
And they was coming back in and taking the slaves from off the plantation and taking cattle because motherfuckers were writing letters to Governor Galvez
Yes, they were.
and saying, these motherfuckers is taking our cattle and
They're
the
taking
slaves
everything.
and everything.
That's why they
And
had to bring slaves into New Orleans because the indigenous, the Aboriginals were killing them. They were getting no wins with it. But they were connected to that Holy Roman. So they were able to get in their slaves, get in reserves, get in the war. That's why you said there wasn't no war in New Orleans because it was at the bottom, it was at the port though. You know what I'm saying? Where the Shah met was where they was bringing in their supplies. Am I right?
right,
So that's why the battle was there. You know what I'm saying?
right. They didn't have no battles in New Orleans.
No battle in New Orleans. They was battling right there where they were going to bring in their supplies so that they could try and take over all of Louisiana, which basically they did.
At the
Through
same time, and then at the same time, when the Americans was trying to come in, let me flip it back to me. And at the same time, when the Americans and them was trying to come in, the French was like, man, fuck that, we about to set the French quarters on fire.
yeah, what?
That's why they set the French quarters on fire, because they say, man, fuck the Americans. Murder this
Yeah,
bitch.
y'all ain't gonna take for the wall work. We had to finesse this to get this built around here. Y'all gonna just come on in and just move in our house, set it on fire.
It's not that bitch on fire, you're doing it, kick your baby, bitch. The bitch you catching flame.
That's basically how it was. And that's cousins on cousins. Don't forget now, they still all family, y'all. You know what I'm saying? From the French to the Spanish to the French. These all family. Nah. Well look, man, we're gonna close that out for the night. I hope everybody see we had the websites up. We're gonna get more information. We looking for October 17th to be our kickoff tour with everybody in place. So spread it, share it. We're gonna start putting up posts between myself, Chito, and Kevin Goodman, Big Chief Kevin Goodman, and man, just share it, and come get some of this information.
The right shit, not all that disinformation shit.
Right. And my brother Chito and I, we connecting with Uptown. We are gonna get with Skip's little brother Tricky, and he's got a studio, and we're gonna start doing a podcast once a month, so y'all can get this raw, and we'll be sitting together. We won't be sitting in with this split screen, and we'll be able to get it in, and we'll both have our computers, be able to share and get it in the right way, so that we can give y'all this information. Because trust me, we did 2 hours and 15 minutes, and this was like nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is an information we gave. I don't think most people gonna catch all of what we said throughout this whole thing. And
Right.
we moved through time pretty fast. So
Oh,
oh yeah, oh yeah. Strap up, because you gonna get your money first. So with that said, man, look forward to the podcast coming. The tour starts October 17th. The website is up. Y'all already go to Cheeto's spot. Y'all already come to my Facebook post.
so
So
you talking about the corporate? You talking about the corporate too?
yeah, the corporate is a 2-day tour that we saying, guys, where you all day in New Orleans on one day, and then the second day we go out to Poverty Point, where they're all day, as opposed to our community that we do once a month, where we do it all in one day. So it is a more relaxed atmosphere, food, it's worth the price tag. Let me just say that. And you get truly intimate time. Information is going to be shoved down. You get an opportunity to digest on one day, come back the next day with your questions. You know what I'm saying? So we can answer them for you, because that's what this tour is about. Us answering the questions from the history and the information that we have.
Look, I'm gonna tell you shit that's gonna bust the professor heads open, archaeologist heads open, anthropologist heads open. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So with that said, anything you want to say to let them go, brother? Anything you want them to connect to? Any information you want them to get to you directly? Let them know.
But look, my other page, that bitch gonna be free on October the 6th. So that's top spot. You know what I'm saying? The one you
Yeah.
want to get in contact with now is Pop 2. You know what I'm saying? I had to be kicking with Facebook, because when I had it at Chito Pop 2, the
Uh-huh.
motherfucker,
They caught that.
most accounts started joining, and it was like, well, no,
You
you
can't do
can't
that.
say that. So I just put around now. I can post free now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, catch me on there, you can inbox me. You know what I'm saying? You know, drop whatever you gotta ask me to DM that heard me. You know, then I got old archives of the Blog Talk Radio show. You know what I'm saying? I'll put that on my page for y'all to go and see that. You know, I was the first person to put out when Martin Luther King said in his I Have a Dream speech. Motherfuckers been saying that speech for almost over 60 years now.
Yeah.
But in 2012, I put it on Martin Luther King's birthday,
Right.
right? I played it because it said that 100 years later, the Negro is still exiled his own homeland. I said,
Homeland.
now see that? I said, he didn't say that you was exiled from motherfucking Africa.
Nope, not from Africa.
Homeland.
Malcolm and Martin said it.
Huh?
Malcolm and Martin said it.
Yeah, but everybody, they mostly don't listen to Malcolm, but they listen to Martin, for the I Have a Dream speech.
True that.
Yeah, I say, even though he said that, by saying that we was exiled in our own homeland, but if you know this was our own homeland, why the fuck you went for civil rights and not human rights?
And why are you rocking with the Catholic Church, the same ones that came in, and then you want to act like now you going against? It was, that's why they shot him. Because once he finally said that, once he finally realized that the dupe was in and he was a puppet and he was like, nah, this is what it is, they killed him less than 2 weeks after he made that statement.
Yeah, because after he found out, he really found out after he talked to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was like, bro, and he should have known they were being used because Malik El-Shabazz already pointed it out about the Big Six.
The Big Six.
With Robert Abernathy and all the rest of
the Boulier, baby. The Boulier, baby.
Yeah.
Your descendants, your Moriscos, them Huguenots and Moriscos.
And that was the whole thing, because it was like, look, we need y'all to stop this grassroots movement of this civil rights thing.
Yes.
And they said, look, boys, we didn't start this.
Right.
We'll put you ahead of it. And that's how they became the head of.
Yes. That's a fact. That's a fact, my brother. Man, we're going to do this more. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation and the information.
We got more shit to talk about.
Yeah, man. Ready. Get ready, get ready. All right, with that said, man, love you, my brother. Thank you for tuning in and doing it with us tonight. That's right, bro. Akeem, the brother Akeem. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's why this is gonna be fun, man, because we're gonna be able to learn each other more as everybody else is gonna learn what we both bring from different aspects, man. And this is gonna be a great learning time, man. So, and it's gonna be an empowering time because I want y'all to know the difference between what Chito and I are gonna do as opposed to what they did in the civil rights, as opposed to what they did in the slavery days, is that we're not gonna allow the liberals, as my man Martin Luther King said, to stop us from speaking the truth. We are not going to allow names and categories that they have put us in for us to not talk and find out the information that we all have because there's only one history. Remember that. There ain't multiple histories. There's only one. There's a lot of players in it, but there ain't one history. You know what I'm saying? So when we doomed to repeat it.
And I know what you said earlier. Well, you must gotta go somewhere tomorrow, huh? Because I usually do like lives like for 4 hours.
We'll do 4 hours. Now I've done the 3 hours, and we'd have to do that a little bit earlier.
I do like 5 hours. My wife, man, I mean, I've been doing that before I married her. You found me doing this, this what I've been doing. But there's like you said, and the reason why I brought that up, when you don't know history, you're bound
to repeat it.
Because y'all niggas knew about the Tuskegee experiment.
Yep. And did not say nothing.
That was done by the United States government in the CDC, and y'all still gonna let the people jab y'all. But hey, it's your body, it's your choice. But when you're laying up there in that hospital and saying, "Oh, I should never did it," you should never did it in the first place, because we've been telling y'all.
Been telling you, and you know,
not telling y'all how to do it with herbs and remedies and
that's it.
And,
the Aboriginal way.
Let me tell you something. They already said that mostly all our melanated people are vitamin D deficiency. And that's what make COVID attack you, because you don't have no
I got my vitamin D. I take it daily, and I walk out in the sun daily.
Vitamin D, get your ass outside and sunbathe sometime.
How about that?
Sun ass.
How about get off your computer?
Inside too much. When you're inside too much.
Too
You're
much.
8 hours in your job in the building for 8 whole hours. You're not even much getting no fucking sun.
No, you're not. You're not. And we don't realize how much we need the sun. And that will let you know that you're Aboriginal to this land.
COVID shot is the same motherfucker that's trying to block out the sun.
Same.
But you need the sun.
Same one. Same guy. Wants to make weather balloons.
The same guy that's saying, oh, you need to get vaccinated. It's the same motherfucker that's trying to block out the sun. And y'all trust this motherfucker. Why you want to try to block out God's creation?
Because he's trying to kill his creation. The only way.
Got a problem.
He's trying to kill his creation.
Y'all don't even much see that shit. But
And it's simple. It's simple, like my brother said. It's simple. Make the connection.
let me tell you something, fam. Let me tell you something. A motherfucking pandemic can be controlled. That shit that they did is not controlled. You know what they call that? They call that a plague.
Yes.
When you can't control it, it's called a fucking plague.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken,
You're right.
even though they didn't have the plague in the Book of Daniel, the Book of Daniel still have some.
Oh, it says plagues. No. It.
Daniel is in the Book of Revelations.
Yes. Yes.
But the Book of Revelation said that you had the pill horse.
Yeah. That's Revelation.
Pestilence
Yeah.
and death pulled the bowl of the plague, and they did what? It took 1/3 of the earth.
The fish, the birds, and the trees. All with the same thing, man. Yeah.
Hold up. Didn't they have a lot of birds die when they put up the G5?
And they still dying, yep. Because they got a disease that's now coming from a neural disease that's coming from where they can't even see their antennas don't give them navigation.
And then they find dead fish washing up on the shoulders. Shit. Okay. On all that part, bro, man, you have a good night, Ark.
Yes, brother, love you. You have a good night. And that was what they needed to hear. That's exactly how we're gonna end the show because we gotta wait.
Let's go. We gonna talk. Thank you. I
Yeah.
just say thank you to Muskogee and the Choctaw language. Madu in the Muskogee and Yoko Key in the Choctaw and my family the Yamasi. I ain't gonna say it because he got some kind of ways that you gonna say it in the Yamasi, but I'm not gonna speak my language.
I'm gonna do the Chata, Yoko T. Yeah.
Yoko.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yoko T. Yeah, I'm going with the Chata. That's my people. All right. All right, salute. Me shalom, my brother. Everybody on YouTube, man, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. As my brother on Facebook, look up our tours, Aboriginal Tours of Louisiana, where we are going to give you guys the true information, the true history. All praises. We'll see y'all